There's a reason why guests are not booking your property, and no, it's not your reviews, no, it's not pricing strategy, it's not anything we've discussed on this channel before, and I'm happy to bring it. You'll be back to getting all the bookings if you've ever had them fall off, slow season or otherwise. Let's jump in. Welcome back, Airbnb family. Yes, this is not a pricing strategy video. That still matters, but compared to this, gosh, pricing strategy is like so 5 years ago. Let me catch you up. 14 years ago, you could have an Airbnb and it would just do good. There's two real reasons why. You see, Airbnb was just this cool new startup, and it led to two unique factors in the market. One, there was no supply. You could have a property and there was really nobody to compete with, so you didn't have to have a good property. But two, guests were open-minded. They did not know what to expect with Airbnb. So they came to Airbnb, went online, looking forward to this new trendy experience to get away from hotels, and looking to find out what Airbnb was all about. The hosts on Airbnb were in control of giving everybody their first impression, but that has changed. That's long gone. Guests know what they're looking for. They know what Airbnb is all about. Everything has become more commoditized. And to commoditize something means to define its value or its price, really. All markets have this, from electricity to food to housing. It's all a bunch of commodities. People know what they want to pay, and we can track the market and goes up and down. And this has led to 5 or 6 years ago where pricing strategy was the real way to get booked, because properties were still just okay. It's still a newish industry, but there's more of them. And the way to get booked was to understand your seasonality. If it was peak season or slow season, you'd raise your prices and make more money, or lower your prices and get booked when no one else would get a booking. You still really only needed to have a property on Airbnb, and you just needed to understand a little bit about market dynamics. And that was it. Since then, lots of people have jumped on Price Labs and Wheelhouse and these softwares and started to raise their prices and lower them with that. But even now people understand that a pricing software isn't good enough. People are still going in to make changes because these softwares aren't this magic wand that gets you bookings. They miss a lot of the times. So it's really cool to see hosts even evolving there. But now, within the last 2 years, there's this boom of properties after COVID. Because it was easy money, right? Revenge travel, everybody was making this money. And these lazy real estate investors came in and dumped a bunch of money into houses into the short-term rental market because it was better cash flow than long-term rentals. And there was a lot of greed in the space. And you know what greed does to an industry? It takes advantage of guests. And guests are getting smarter. They know who's trying to take advantage of them. Every year that goes by, the generations that come are born with better and better technologies, better and better phones. They see social media. They see people like me trying to influence and teach on the internet and push a Lambo across a screen to say, hey, I'm successful, buy my course. They've seen it all. They know who's being disingenuous. They know who's actually smart. They know who's greedy. And so on that note, thank you so much for stopping and watching this video and giving me your trust, letting me teach you Airbnb. You're probably one of the people who knows what it's like to see somebody who just smiles at the camera and waves and points at their car and says that they'll make you a millionaire. That's not this video, but please like the video anyway, because it helps the video survive. And if you don't like the video, then YouTube might think that I'm one of those guys and they'll cancel my channel and I'll go homeless or something because you didn't like the video. So please give it a like. But back to greed. The greedy investor did not put effort into this space. They did not put care into this space. And people are getting better at discovering what that looks like. And if you want to know what that looks like, let me show you. Let's pull up some Airbnb listings and get right down to it. First, let's look at this listing. It's clean. It's nice. It's clean. It's nothing special, but it's got all this basic stuff and you can tell that they took care of it, but it is a low effort property. It doesn't have good artwork. It doesn't have lamps and plants and all this other stuff that you would expect a home to have. And imagine that you're a traveler looking at this space, trying to decide if this is where you're going to book. It looks nice enough. You go, hey, cool, I could stay here, but something just doesn't ring true for you. So you go down to the reviews to try to find out, am I going to enjoy my stay here? If the lockbox isn't working or the Wi-Fi's not working, how does the host respond to this? Because the photos are a little sus. It looks like the host doesn't care. The host might be smart and has money, but do they care? No. And we've all seen those landlords, haven't we? So we want to protect ourselves as travelers from the person who just wants our money. And so then we go to the reviews to see if our suspicions are true. Let's go to another listing. Now this listing isn't nice. It's not cute to a lot of people. It's eccentric. It's a little messy, you could even say. But this listing is so authentic. It's exactly what Airbnb is hoping to capture from the host community. You can tell that this person isn't exactly good at Airbnb per se. Their photos aren't the best. Their design style isn't tenured. It's not like a professional did it. But you can see all over the home those little touches, the effort, the care. the personality, the investment. This might be somebody's house or their first and only Airbnb. And they put a lot of themselves into this property. And when somebody sees a property like this, they know that they can trust the host. That if the Wi-Fi goes down, the host will fix it. Or if they're having a hard time getting into the property, the host will be there. Or if they need to vent to somebody, the host will pick up the phone and let them talk. It's anything. The host will bring cookies, for God's sake. That's the kind of host that guests want. That's the main reason why people left hotels in the first place. And this is the one bit of magic that hotels can't fight against. If there's anything that you can do to protect yourself from hotels clawing back their customer base, it's this, it's the effort. So how do you put effort into a home? Well, let me teach you how to put in some effort. Let's pull up a listing from one of my students. One of my newest students in Cracking Superhost, where we teach everything Airbnb, front to back, top to bottom, for not only people who rent properties like I did 10 years ago, but people who own properties, real estate investors, co-hosts, and the like. Cracking Superhost is the best place to learn how to do Airbnb and to crush it as a host. My students have made over $1 billion since we started that program. And this is one of the main things that we see with students who have a property already and come to Cracking Superhost. This listing was plain. It was an okay listing, but it lacked the effort that we discussed. And one of my favorite changes that we made was actually in the dining room of all places. There's just a table there. It wasn't really anything special. So what we did on this empty wall to the right, we added a shoe rack, and then we added a coat rack. And he put a hat and a coat, and I think even an umbrella in the top right. And when he took the photos, it looked so much more like home. We started to add these home style features that no investor would ever add to the home. They would never do it because they never intended to live there. There's no love in the home. If somebody actually lived in the space for any real period of time, these would be the things that would start to take up the home. And so we started adding life and personality to the space. We're making the house a home, and that's what performs on Airbnb. And we do the same thing in the rest of the home as well. Bedrooms, for example. People by far underinvest in bedrooms. You might just have a bed with a headboard, a nightstand or two, and then one piece of art that's the wrong size and slightly off center above the headboard. That happens all the time. And by adding lamps and some books on the nightstand and some plants and some more appropriately sized art, just these little things like a throw blanket on the bed and extra pillows, all of a sudden the room looks amazing. And for not that much money either. I did a whole video on this where I will put it in the corner on the 5 steps that you can take to make a bedroom look amazing. But that takes us to room number 2, where everyone makes huge mistakes in the effort category. It seems like everybody can do their living rooms just fine, but the bedrooms and then the kitchen are 2 completely abandoned sections of the home. And if you think about it, kitchens are the most competitive amenity that you can have because hotels just don't have them. So why not make your kitchen like the best thing ever? If people are looking for an Airbnb, they're certainly looking for a kitchen, right? And let's use the coffee station as the main example that I want to give you for effort and how to define and show effort in your space. And here's a concept I should have gave you sooner in this video. This is going to help you capture it. Everything has changed so much since Airbnbs have become a commodity that people are used to peeling through listing after listing and going through all the photos to try to get all of their answers. If your photos don't show effort, they will then grow suspicious of your listing. So not only do we have to do the right thing, we have to photograph it, but we have to photograph it in the right way. It's got to be aesthetic. You should have a coffee station, right? Everybody's got one, but you need to show, and I'm going to say need, this is urgent. This is urgent that you do this. You need to show in the photo that you have coffee, decaf, tea, creamer, sugar, and anything else that is cool about your coffee station. And you need to put it all front and center. Like the manger scene where the wise men come to visit Jesus, like the stage presence. It's all just forward so everybody can see it as they drive by your house. It's all set up on the lawn. Same exact way. Everything facing the street. So you've got the coffee turned towards the camera where they can read it. The decaf container turned towards the camera. All the labels facing the camera. You're gonna have a box of tea in the front. You're gonna have everything there so when the one photo is taken, everything takes up the whole photo like a good advertisement and everything is crystal clear, easy to make out in the photo. So as people click through, they can see it all in just a second and a half. There's no investigation. Click, oh, look at this coffee station. Everything, click. Oh, look at everything else. Click. You want to give everybody the information so easy to digest, which I should do a better job of doing that here in this YouTube channel. But you get my point. Do as I say, not as I do. Another photo that you need is called the kitchen medium shot. It's going to be your cooking area, cooking station, ready to cook, mise en place, as I say in a different video, which will be in the playlist, but up here, just for ease of access, You need to set up your kitchen to show all of the competitive features that make your kitchen better than everybody, but you also need to take that photo in a way that's easy to take in all of that information. A lot of hosts, they'll open drawers and take photos down into the drawers, like, hey, here's all the spoons, and then here's all the cups, and then here's the pots and pans. That's really ugly. And it's not fun to buy something where the photos look like this. It's like you put your house on OfferUp or Craigslist and your photos look like it's a swap meet, like a flea market. It's just not pretty. It's not aesthetic. You can show all of these amazing items in 1 or 2 well-composed photos that I call the kitchen medium shot. There's a total of 4 photos that you absolutely need in your listing, and this video about the kitchen will get you there, I promise. And so to move on from the bedroom and the kitchen, there's a few other areas of the home that need to express effort in the right way. And in order to express effort, you need to complete your design to include all of the creature comforts and all of the bits of personality that we started to talk about earlier in the video. Like I was talking about the coat rack with the hat in the photo. Super cool idea. Staging your photos in this way is something I call eye candy. And that will actually make a potential 5th video that I'm recommending that you watch on how to photograph using eye candy to spice up all of your photos. Every room in your home, the yard included, can have eye candy, making what looks like a very basic plain space look like a space that has effort and love put into it. And a lot of times we can do that with props. We can add stuff to the space that you would consider a stage prop, but people actually want to see it. So watch that video for a better expanded concept of photography using eye candy, but then also this props argument could also be considered amenities, right? Like plants and a stand-up mirror and all this cool stuff. I've got a video from last year that might be one of my most popular videos in the last year on amenities. It's a banger. If you haven't seen it, I'll add that to the playlist. But I'm going to be doing a new video on amenities here soon because things have changed. Amenities are so much more competitive than they used to be, and I've learned a lot in the last year. So coming soon, 2025 amenities video. Stay tuned, subscribe if you want to catch that video so you can get notified when I post it, because I will post it, I promise. And these concepts about features, amenities, composing the kitchen medium shot or composing the coffee station, adding these little touches of home and love and personality and effort, all can be summarized by this one main new truth about Airbnb in the last couple years. Airbnb and guests both treat your listing like a sales funnel, like an Amazon product online. They're gonna look at some photos, they're gonna look at your reviews and try to make a determination on whether or not they're gonna hate this product. There's a lot of scammers online. There's a lot of people who just don't care. I once tried to buy a vase on Amazon and it came this big because of course a photo, you can't really tell scale, and they intentionally hid the fact that I was buying a 2-inch vase. I wanted an 18-inch one and I got a 2-inch one. I paid the 18-inch price too, by the way. They got me. And that was when I learned that I can't trust Amazon. And Airbnb's been the same way. There are people who've learned that you cannot trust Airbnb. And that's how hotels have been pulling back their business from Airbnb. And we have to prove to people through our photos that they can trust us, because photos are the best way to communicate. You can't just write "trust me bro" in your description and expect that to work. You need in the photos to really show the proof that you're an awesome host, that you're putting in the effort. So as your photo and title get people to click and stick and look around your listing, people will then determine that they can trust you, that you're the right host for the job. And then by the end, they will click book with you and not book with someone else. Down below is that playlist on everything you need to accomplish this video's advice. I'll also leave it here at the end somewhere. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. You're my favorite people. And let me one last time shamelessly ask for a like on this video. It's the best gift you can give me this Christmas. As always, my friends, I'll see you on the other side.